So, you've got some extra cash. It's a great problem to have, right? But it's still a problem. What's the smartest thing to do with it? Do you attack your debt and get that weight off your shoulders? Or do you put that money to work in the market, hoping to grow your wealth? This is a huge question, so let's get into it.
I mean, think about it. You get a bonus, maybe a nice salary hike, and suddenly you have this choice. Do you use it to pay down that car loan faster, chip away at your mortgage? Or do you take that cash and invest it, hoping to earn more than what your loan is actually costing you? Yeah, it's a tough one. And honestly, it stumps pretty much everyone.
All right, to really get our heads around this, let's look at a real-world situation. Picture this: a 25-year-old who happens to be the only one earning in their family has both a car loan and a home loan. Now they've managed to save up a good chunk of cash. The big question for them is, where does this money do the most good? Should they tackle that higher interest car loan, or maybe make a dent in that huge home loan? Or is there another option they're not even seeing?
Okay, but before we even try to answer that question for them, we need to hit the brakes. Seriously. Because most financial experts will tell you the choice isn't just a simple A or B, prepay or invest. There's actually a step 0, something you absolutely have to do first. So, what's this crucial first step? It's all about building your financial foundation. Before you even think about throwing extra cash at a decent loan, you've got to check a few boxes. First, have at least a starter emergency fund. Second, kill off any of that really nasty high-interest debt. I'm talking credit cards. And third, please, make sure you're contributing enough to get your full employer match on your retirement plan. I mean, that's literally free money. You just can't leave that on the table. And what exactly is an emergency fund? Well, think of it like a financial seatbelt. It's cash you can get to, like, right now. Maybe enough to cover a few months of your essential bills. It's there for when life does what life does. The car breaks down. You get an unexpected medical bill. Having that cash buffer is what stops a little hiccup from spiraling into a massive credit card-fueled disaster.
Okay, so once that foundation is solid, now we can get to the main event. Let's start with option 1, taking that extra cash and prepaying your loan. This is what I like to call the path of certainty.
Just how powerful is prepaying? It can be absolutely mind-blowing. Let me give you an example. On a typical 20-year home loan, if you were to prepay just 5 lakhs early on, you could end up saving a whopping 10 lakhs in interest over the life of that loan. Think about that. That's a guaranteed 100% return on your money just from money you didn't have to pay. And that right there is the magic of it. This isn't some maybe return that depends on the stock market having a good year. No. This is a sure thing. It's a return that is promised, not just possible. For every single rupee you pay down early, you are guaranteeing that you will never ever have to pay interest on that rupee again. It's a risk-free win. But look, this isn't just about the numbers on a spreadsheet. For a lot of us, the feeling, the psychological victory is, well, it's huge. Just imagine that feeling of being completely debt-free. The peace of mind. It takes so much financial stress off the table. And if you're the one everyone's counting on, the sole earner, man, that sense of security is just priceless.
All right, so that's the case for prepaying. But what about the other side of the coin? Let's talk about the path of potential, the path of growth, taking that extra cash and investing it instead.
So what's the big deal with investing? Well, it all comes down to one powerful concept: compound interest. It's been called the 8th wonder of the world for a reason. It's basically your money making money, and then that money starts making its own money. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, just getting bigger and bigger, faster and faster. This is why a rupee today, put to work, can become so much more valuable than a rupee tomorrow.
So let's go back to our example. Instead of using that 5 lakhs to prepay your loan, what if you invested it? Well, if we assume a pretty standard historical return of about 12% a year over 15 years, that 5 lakhs could grow to over 27 lakhs. Now that number absolutely crushes the 10 lakhs you would have saved in interest. But, and this is a huge but, notice the word I used, could. This return is possible, but it is absolutely not promised. The market goes up, the market goes down, it's volatile. Your actual results could be way better, or they could be worse. You're taking on risk to get that potential reward.
So we have certainty on one side and potential on the other. How in the world do you choose? Well, it's not a coin flip. It really boils down to 3 key things you need to think about for your specific situation.
Factor number 1 is just the straight-up math. It's a showdown. Your loan's interest rate versus your expected investment return. But here's the kicker that a lot of people forget. You have to look at your investment return after taxes. because, the tax man wants his cut. So you're really comparing the cost of your debt to what you actually get to keep from your investments. Whichever number's bigger, that's generally where your money should go.
Now, to make this even simpler, there's a neat little rule of thumb out there, often called the 6% rule. It goes like this. If your loan's interest rate is 6% or higher, lean towards paying it down. That's a pretty high guaranteed return, and it's tough to reliably beat that in the market. But if your interest rate is less than 6%, investing starts to look a lot more attractive over the long haul.
Factor number 2, the rules of the game. And by that I mean taxes. See, it gets a little more complicated. In many places, the interest you pay on a home loan is tax deductible. What does that mean? It effectively lowers the real cost of your loan. And on the other side, sometimes long-term investment profits get taxed at a lower rate. So you really have to understand how these rules can tilt the math in one direction or the other.
And this leads us to the third factor, which might just be the most important one of all. It's you. It's your personality. Because money isn't just about numbers, it's emotional. Your comfort level with risk is totally unique. Are you the kind of person who lies awake at night when the market dips? Or do you see those dips as a buying opportunity? There's no right or wrong answer here. And this is where that 6% rule of thumb gets flexible. If you're a pretty cautious investor, maybe your breaking point for a loan is more like 4% or 5%. Anything higher than that, and you'd rather just pay it off. But if you're a more aggressive, growth-focused investor, you might be totally fine investing your money, even if your loan rate is 7% or 8%, because you're shooting for much higher returns.
Okay, so let's recap. We've talked about building your foundation, we've looked at the 2 big choices, and we've walked through the 3 things that will help you decide. Now let's pull all of this together and figure out a real strategy.
Probably the easiest way to approach this is to think of your debt in tiers. At the top, you've got the really toxic stuff. Credit card debt, anything over 15%. That's a financial emergency, pay it off now. No investment is going to reliably beat that. Then you've got that middle tier, like car loans, maybe in that 8 to 14% range. Here, prepaying is almost always the smart play because that guaranteed return is just so good. And then at the bottom, you have the good debt, like a low-rate mortgage. And that's where it really becomes a personal decision based on the math, the tax rules, and how you feel about risk.
And hey, remember, you don't have to go all in on one or the other. This isn't a black and white choice. A hybrid approach can be fantastic. Why not split that extra cash? Use some of it to attack that debt, get that guaranteed win and that peace of mind, and then invest the rest so you're still in the game, capturing that potential growth for the future. So in the end, after all the math and all the rules, it all comes back to one simple question you have to ask yourself. What matters more to you right now? Is it the absolute certainty and the incredible peace that comes from being debt-free? Or is it the potential for much greater wealth down the road, even if it comes with some risk? There's no one-size-fits-all answer. The only right choice is the one that's right for you.